Hello, my name is Fox Rental. Again, I'm with Fox. And this is the last episode. If I am very late, like 2 weeks late. But also, on that same note, before we begin, and, in case you're just one of the people who just comes in here just to spout shit and just hate and all that other stuff, because, I can understand criticism, but I don't understand is you just going to say, you're wrong, after just reading the title and that's it. And I'm pretty sure that's like 90%, especially some dude who I was arguing with last time on like my comment section thing, because they didn't understand what I said about Hacksmith. So I'm going to go ahead and show you right now what I meant by Hacksmith. And this goes for everyone who, wants to be a dick. If you're going to leave shitty comments like the last video, because again, the first episode I put out, which I think the first 3 episodes, people angry and shit about it, which I'm honestly starting thinking these people are just bots. And then second episode I put out, nothing. Third episode I put out, everyone just start again, oh, are you a Disney shill? Are you this and that? If I was a Disney shill, I wouldn't be living where I was right now, and I would have and it'd be probably a much bigger office. Also, on that same note too, if most likely you're just bots, so off. But if you're not bots, I recommend you doing the great Star Wars greatest honor, of going to Hacksmith Industries, taking their Hacksmith lightsaber, the one that's connected to the propane thing that shoots the super high flame, whatever, shoving it extremely far up your own ass, and then turning it on. In Minecraft, of course. I wouldn't, of course, in Minecraft, but far up there. In any case, this is the last episode, which we get a lot of cool things in it. Sorry if I missed a few things. Again, it's been a minute since I've seen it, and even my notes are a little bit lackluster. But pretty much, after OSHA puts on the helmet, after she has her whole sensory deprivation thing, which, again, it's freaking badass, pretty much, she gets almost straight taken to the dark side. Even the Stranger, everyone calls him Kimir, even though that's not his actual name, and he just goes by the Stranger right now. But whatever. It started to overtake him, the dark side of it. Takes the helmet off, and there's a really cool detail where, if you look in her eyes, you can see a lightsaber in her hand, or in someone's hand, and you're like, oh shit! It's a really nice little detail. She says that she sees her sister killing Soul, and it's okay. He's like, okay. And then, Kimir, or the Stranger, he goes oh, she can do it. She can kill without a lightsaber, or kill without a weapon. And so pretty much then, they're he's like, I need to go find her. And she's like, I need to go too. And he's like, oh yeah, well, what ship? And pretty much she says, I'm the one who knows where she's going to be. You don't, so we have to work together. Fine, whatever. They head there. I can't remember exactly why. I think Soul just went there because, I think he also knew that's where they were gonna go, or he knew that was where it should end. Takes May there, and also the Soul is pretty much a pretty good, he's not really a villain. He's not a villain, but he is someone who messed up so badly and is one of the main reasons why all of this is happening. He's not a villain, but he is he's conflicted, and also he is he's not perfect, I guess. He's not a perfect character and stuff like that. And the thing is, it's pretty freaking cool. Also, this whole fight is pretty badass.
Great team.
God. But pretty much they go there, and they each have their own meetups, which is actually kind of funny because what is it? When they get to the doors of the witch citadel where all this began, OSHA's I had to unlock these doors, And, like, it's the only way to get in. And the stranger goes, "Are you sure?" She turns around and he freaking Batmans away. Just like, gone. I'm like, she's like, God damn it. But, I remember that. But, I'm trying to see if I can remember everything that happened. But pretty much also, like, even, like, I think it's when this fight happens, or the next one happens, that, while this is going on, Osha and May, reunite. Which there is this cool little, like, bit where Osha and May kind of switch places. Which is kind of interesting. Because by the end of it, May is wearing, like, Osha's, like, Jedi civilian clothes and even has her droid with her. Or the little droid that she reprogrammed, which is kind of messed up that you just reset it like that. And then, Osha blames May for, like, everything that happened. The two fight each other, which people really want to try to complain and shit. Like, Osha and May... Actually, I don't need this anymore.
Everything that happened... I didn't do this. Soul lied to you. He blamed me. Soul never blamed you. He tried to teach me to accept that someone that I love could be capable of this level of destruction.
See, like, she's dressed like Osha at this point, and then she's more dressed like May, at least more Sith-wise.
Negative emotions.
And she also brings up the reason why she wasn't accepted as a Jedi, too.
I could never learn to calm my negative emotions. My hatred of you, my grief over our mother. So I never became a Jedi. And I guess in the end, you got what you wanted. Soul killed our mother. I saw it with my own eyes. He's lied to you. Every day since you left our home.
The two have a fight, and they mirror each other, which, again, I'm pretty sure this is setting up that, yeah, they're a dyad in the Force. Because even later on, Soul brings up... Yeah. Soul brings up that, literally, like, whatever was done to create them, but we don't get a full thing of it. We do know that the convergence in the Force, which is basically what creates Anakin, I guess, which also apparently in the Darth Plagueis books, Darth Plagueis tried to create immortal life, and through trying to create immortal life, he accidentally created a convergence or something along the lines that then created Anakin. Which also we saw Darth Plagueis in, when they leave the planet, you see him with his creepy hand sticking out, which Twitter spoiled the shit out of that for me. But on that same note too, it is like, okay, that's actually pretty cool, because here's the thing, rewatching, because I didn't know who Darth Plagueis was when I first started Star Wars, which, mind you, I started with Episode 7, and, like, even though I kind of knew about, even though I saw the Episode 1, 2, and 3 in theaters, actually, no, 3 I did not see in theaters. I kind of just did not give a shit about Star Wars. Ain't gonna lie, I tried at one point trying to rewatch. I tried to watch. I remember there was a marathon on like, I don't know, Spike TV or some shit, of like all the Star Wars films at one point. And like, I'm gonna watch all of them. I watched like halfway through The Phantom Menace. I'm like, I am bored. I'm like, I don't like this. But, I'm like, I don't like this. This is boring. Like, I'm like, and the commercial probably didn't help either, so I just kind of left it and probably switched to Cartoon Network instead. So I didn't really like those and stuff. So only till later on, like, oh yeah, Darth Plagueis is actually the Chancellor in, during Episode 1 until Episode 2, where then Palpatine's the Chancellor or some shit like that. I'm like, okay, if you say so, Internet. I was like, after watching the internet, or, the internet telling me shit like that. But, so while that's going on, they're all, that's all fighting. Soul and the stranger. Now I'm calling him Cupid. Come here to fight one another. Which, actually, let me see. These are dialogue. There is dialogue. Because he's trying to find May and Osha. Because I think May ran off, if I'm remembering correctly.
Thank you for leading me to her. We make a great team.
Also, I ain't gonna lie. Again, like, because here's the thing, too. Again, this is why I also, like, I've always, like, even, like, back in the day, because here's the thing. One of the main reasons I even stood away from Star Wars also at the point, because here's the thing, I like lightsabers. Lightsabers are freaking badass. And I know everyone's like, oh my god, lightsabers are cool. One, I always felt the Force was a little bit restricted. That, so far, has seemed to be pushed away a lot more. Like, I thought, like, okay, they could just do Force push and all that stuff. But no, there's actually more Force abilities that can be done with it, which is cool. And also, like, how Disney's kind of following up with that stuff. Not saying that, like, the Legends and all that stuff didn't do that, but also in Legend, there's shit like a Force Storm that could create a portal in time that Palpatine sends himself in the past as a clone to, like, bunch of random bullshit. That being said, on that note, I was about that, but also another thing that, because here's the thing, even back then, way back when, I don't know, 13, maybe less, probably younger than that, I remember still the Anakin talking with Yoda, because that's the thing, I brought that up, I think, like, every episode of this, especially has to do with, the Jedi. I don't like that, like, they say, like, yeah, suppress your emotions. Suppress that. It's like, why are you going to suppress being human? Why are you going to do that? That seems terrible. That seems awful. That even back then, when I didn't even know about mental health and all that stuff, that just seems like a very big red flag. Where the Sith, no, like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. No, the Sith have still done horrible, horrible shit. I ain't gonna say nothing along that line. But say something like, let's say here, the Stranger. What has he done that's really evil? At least that we've seen. What has he really done? If you think about it. Like, yes, he set his Acolyte on a path to kill the people who came into her home in the past. Let's say it this way. The police officers that came into her house, killed her family, and then got off scot-free. Like, would you not be pissed off? Would you not be like, they did this? like, yeah, probably killing him, whatever. It's old Western samurai ninjas, whatever. But yeah, like, he hasn't really done anything evil. Mind you, yes, Plagueis and eventually, or really more Palpatine and all that stuff. Yes, they will do some horrible shit, especially Palpatine, from things like slavery to murder to blowing up entire planets, all this stuff. Torturing a dude, like Vader, like, to becoming his apprentice and all this shit. There's a lot of horrible shit that happens. But is that really only the certain Sith? Like, that's, I don't know. And I don't know, that's the thing. And again, I don't really believe the whole shit. Like, even George Lucas' whole thing, because George Lucas changes his mind every freaking time, every so often, so. But, like, he's like, oh no, the dark side of the Force is corrupt, or I think maybe it would be somewhere. Like, the dark side of the Force is corrupted, and that's a plaguing of the Force. I'm like, I think that ruins Star Wars way more than anything Disney has ever done to it. Because, no, if you're going to say there's a balance in the Force, let there be a balance. If you go one way fully with no emotions to try to cut yourself off and just be like, oh yes, whatever, that's bad. And same way the other way. If you're all emotions and you just do whatever, like, oh, that person's annoying me, kill him. Like, that's bad too. Don't do that. Having a balance between the dark and the light is better. And even then, it's a good thing the Clone Wars animated series is, canon. Because, yeah, like, yeah. Like, they like, the Exegol arc pretty much sets up that, yes, like, dark side and light side are balanced with each other. It isn't a corruption. It's a balance of the light and the dark. And then you have the person in the middle, which I do love that Styro kind of brought this up. It was a comment I just checked last night. But he brought it up that, Styro is, he comments in a lot of my videos and, all that stuff. I love seeing the comments. He's the one that's done it the most. He brought up that, like, when Anakin is fighting Ahsoka in, like, the Force world, that he, like, is ascended. And I'm like, holy shit, I don't know if you got that from somewhere else or if you just... But, like, I'm like, that actually makes a lot of sense if that's the case, that Anakin has ascended to becoming the quote-unquote father, in a sense. And, like, he is literally the balance of light and dark in the Force now. I think that'd be kind of sick if that's the case. That's why he switches between light and dark in that fight. Which also, that was also a thing that was supposed to happen in the original, in episode, I think, 8 and 9. Or, like, episode 7, at least. But yeah, like, that was really... But yeah, like, I don't know. These two fighting showed light and dark, which I love how old-fashioned samurai this is. Which, that's the thing, that's the kind of thing I really love about, old-fashioned samurai, but, like, old-fashioned samurai movies, yeah. I like about the sequel trilogy, as well as, like, this newer stuff with lightsabers, because it feels like, even though it is flashy, obviously, it does feel more of a lightsaber fight than just... Which, mind you, yeah, they're like 80-year-old guys, probably less than that, probably like 60, 70-year-old guys in the original trilogy, and then, prequels, it's... Like, if you want to see the worst lightsaber fight ever, Anakin versus Dooku in Clone Wars. In the Clone Wars movie. Because there's just points where it just zoomed down the character's face, and you just see lights flashing off camera. I'm like, this is awful! This is shit! Doesn't mean the entire movie shit, but I love the sparks. I want more of this. Please give me more lightsaber fights like this. And look at that, it's like some old-fashioned, like, pull string kind of... Hell yeah. Give us old-fashioned, like, samurai movie style stuff with lightsabers. Hell yes, please.
I will destroy you if I must. Not if she gets you first.
Also, that's just sick. I love that so much. Also, like, to get back to this. So, fight scenes, badassness. Eventually, let me see here. Which also, I don't know, the one thing I will say, like, what happened to his bracer? I guess he just didn't bring it with him? But I do love that when he does this, to, like, capture his sword. Because he was going to disable it, because as soon as that happens, he's pretty much done. And he pulled a move that's considered bad. Oh, shit. Like, that's against the Jedi code of turning off your lightsaber in a fight. I love also the quick move like that, the samurai, that you see the cut on his lightsaber, which, honestly, ain't gonna lie, maybe a Beskar Cortosis mix. Well, it all depends, because Beskar is only resilient to lightsaber attacks if it's pure Beskar, like if it's like fully as pure as like Mando's. But then Cortosis, I'm not sure how it would react. But I'm just thinking, like, if you took if you had you could probably make a Cortosis hilt, but it would be easily breakable. Maybe fusing it with some Beskar would do it. The question is, how durable would a Beskar lightsaber be? Beskar / Cortosis lightsaber be? I would imagine they could probably balance each other out. But the thing is, I want to know is, like, would Cortosis still have the lightsaber deactivating properties, But then also on that same note, would the Beskar be pure enough to where it would be resistant enough? Because in a sense, I would say you could probably find a decent balance. Because if the lightsaber is made of cortosis, and maybe like have this part obviously be Beskar, so that way then when the blade comes out, it doesn't deactivate itself. But, you know, you have someone else swing their lightsaber and they try to aim for your hilt, hits it, deactivates their lightsaber, and then just kill them. But God, I love lightsabers. But yeah, pretty much, it's a bit thing, but pretty much, Soul eventually does say, like, how... Actually, let me see, I could probably find it. See here? Oh yeah, Osha, May saves the apprentice, or saves the stranger.
Good, May. Feel your anger. This is the source of your pain.
Breaks the lightsaber and
Strike him down, and your journey will be complete.
why do I want to see this? I don't know who the hell that is. Pretty much, if I remember correctly, May gets Soul to admit what happened, and that is what triggers that triggers Osha to then be like, you know, get very angry. Soul tries to explain, and then we start seeing Soul choke. And I love the look on his face where it's like, oh shit, I was wrong. It isn't May.
Stop talking.
And I love this too because this is the test. This is the test that the stranger wanted May to do, where it was like, how do you kill someone without a weapon? And it's by using the Force. And not only using the Force, because that's the thing too, and that's what I like about the Star Wars shows in general, and sometimes more than the movies themselves. Yeah, because, yes, the movies don't explain everything. People like to harp on the sequel, saying like, oh, Palpatine returned. Anakin flipped on a dime. Luke, what? Let's see here. Luke trained with Yoda for how many months? 3? Maybe none? Maybe a week? It's left really not known, if I'm remembering correctly. We never get his same time date, but he's able to get all his Force powers up, whatever. Hell, he trained for what? A day or two on the ship with Obi-Wan, and then, like, he can, you know, he knows how to shoot a blaster down a hole and explode it. Hell, he hasn't flown a ship before, but he's able to do that in one shot. Like, calm down there, bud. These movies are not perfect, and that's also similar to the point. But I love when they expand on things. Whether, like, the Clone Wars saga expanding on Anakin's dark side, the Clone Wars anime show expanding on Anakin's dark side, as well as the beginning of the Empire and all this other stuff. To stuff like, this, I'm pretty sure, because they bring up that, like, Soul tries to tell Osha, like, you know, I did it in self-defense, which, yeah, I ain't gonna blame Soul, because he just saw one little girl start dissipating into black smoke, and then this witch kind of come out, like, I'm not saying he did a bad thing there, because, yeah, what the hell, I would probably be like, yes, what the hell, ha! And, like, but, like, stuff like that, like, but, like, what is it? Soul did try to tell Osha, like, you know, you guys weren't created naturally, that you're symbiotic, whatever the hell is the exact same. You're the same person split in two, pretty much. And yeah, the dyad. It's the dyad in the Force. It's the dyad in the Force. Or it's our official dyad in the Force. But again, I like that. They're expanding on the dyad, or, you know, stuff like or stuff like what is it, the Bad Batch and the Clone Saga. Is it the Clone Saga? The Bad Batch, the Mando series, and all that stuff expand on the creation of Force-sensitive clones eventually to create Palpatine. Like, movies are always used as a springboard for a much bigger universe around it. And I'm okay with this. You don't need everything fully explained. Especially for Star Wars, where nothing is explained. Like, here's the thing. You don't ever know Palpatine's real name unless you got the toy of him for, like, Return of the Jedi. Like, you never knew his name. I don't think you ever knew if he was, like, exactly everything else. Like, hell, you wouldn't know, like, those Red Guard guys that are around him, that they're clones. At least they originally were clones. Like, clone troopers. Like, some of the last ones, which they'd be really damn old. But, like, stuff like that where they always expand on it. And I like this, too, because this expands on the idea. Like, here's the thing. Darth Vader doing his Force choke was, you know, his iconic thing. Now, they're showing it like it's like a rite of passage. That it's like this thing that's way stronger than just being a move that Darth Vader uses. It's a Sith. It's, in some cases, used as a Sith, like, initiation. And I like that. That's cool. This, too, people were so pissed about this. Like, how did she... Like, well, I'm gonna read it up. Aww. So, pretty much in her vision, when she saw the person with the red lightsaber and all his visions, like, oh, they're gonna kill Soul! It was never May! And then... another thing I really, really love that I think added way more to this than took away. The bleeding of a lightsaber. She was the one, she saw herself in the vision, like I said a little bit earlier. But she's the one that saw herself in the vision with the red lightsaber. And again, bleeding a lightsaber is so damn cool. Especially then also the idea that you can purify it and it turns white, Ahsoka. But purifying a lightsaber, or like corrupting a lightsaber, making it bleed is cool. So much cooler than just the Sith created synthetic crystals that, you know, aren't naturally made. They're just like, I guess that follows the idea of like they're not in tune with the Force. But I think I like this more. Where like, no, this shows more the idea that, yeah, they can take control of the Force with their pure will, which also people were complaining, why didn't Anakin's lightsaber turn red when he was killing younglings? Because Anakin wasn't touching the damn crystal like we see here. Let's see, where is it? Like, you literally see her touching it. And then, like, the dark side, and also some other people after that were also saying, like, also, I love how it looks like it's filling with blood. But, what was his name? I can't remember. Which also ain't gonna lie, but yeah, like, also, like, I say, like, well, it has to be something, like, you have to willingly do it. And it's like, I don't know, willingly, I think it just shows that she's very powerful in the dark side of the Force. And she's able to do that. Which, I ain't gonna lie, like, one of the main reasons, like, this took so long was because I was looking for my red lightsaber crystal. because I just could not find it, and I still can't. I don't know. I'm still unboxing things, so sadly, I don't have it. I still have my blue crystal in here. But I ain't gonna lie to you, because here's the thing. Like, you could get crystals after you create your lightsaber. My first lightsaber crystal was not the blue one. It was the red one. Because you could get, I think, green, blue, red, and maybe purple. I can't remember. And then you could go to the lightsaber shop and buy additional crystals. My first crystal was red. Don't know why. Like legitimately, I'm like, I want to make a good guy lightsaber. Even though I did pick like the Sith, darker side ones, parts at first, and then eventually later I got these Jedi bits to add to it because I wanted it. Because if you look, it kind of has this little, I wanted to kind of have that like a Skywalker style look to it, with the handle bits here, but then also the cap, which is kind of really what that is. But then I wanted something like long, like the bandages wrapped around. Which, if I remember correctly, this is Jedi, this is nature, if I remember correctly, and then these are the Imperial, dark side Sith bits right here. So that's how I made my lightsaber. But which also you could go and buy other pieces for your lightsaber to switch them out. That's how I was able to get these two parts. But am I kind of happy I kind of got the red lightsaber from that? Yeah, honestly, yeah, because I like. Okay, but we'll get more into that. But pretty much, it turns dark. Osha is the one who will become the Acolyte. And pretty much, that's then when also, while all this is going on at the Jedi Council, a representative of the Senate comes in, and there's the Senate comes in and talks to the Green Lady, and says you're running an investigation, and she's like, yeah, and she's like, well, yeah, but it's an internal thing. Doesn't have to worry about it. It's like, no, we need to worry about it. You guys have had zero, we've had zero control, I guess, over you guys. You get zero checks, zero balances. I think you guys are just a cult. And pretty much she says we're handling this in house. We're handling this all under control. Don't worry, whatever. And pretty much that she's gonna have to get brought up in front of the council or a mini council to then talk about what has happened with this investigation, who they captured for this investigation, all this stuff. And this also leading to them eventually. I can't remember exactly if it was a beacon or something along the lines where they just got where Soul was. They head to the planet. Green Lady gets off of it. Then she senses the stranger. Stranger's like, oh shit! Puts on his helmet, disappears from the Force, and she's like, my old apprentice. Pretty much, the scars on his back are from her light whip, apparently. And she goes there. These three escape. Green Lady senses everything that happened, from the witches being killed to all that stuff. The Force Echo, which is honestly an ability that I'm okay with there in it because it allows for a lot of exposition without needing to be redone. And honestly, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty badass ability if you really think about it. You just sense what was there. These guys escape. What is it? I'm trying to remember exactly what happened, but pretty much Osha says she wants to continue on this dark path. She wants to continue with the Acolyte, or the Stranger, the whole rule of two thing, and her sister doesn't want to do that. But they say pretty much that they're gonna May allows this, but allows for her mind to be wiped. That way they can't be traced, and so that way also everything can be kind of hidden. So they wipe her mind. They do the whole one is two, two is one of see and below and all that. Eventually May not be able to finish it. Osha and the Acolyte, or Osha and the Stranger disappear. May is left to get captured by the Jedi, and they're like, what do you last thing you remember? Me and my sister escaping. And she's like, you remember? Pretty much it's them when they were 8 years old is the last memory May has. She lost the last 15 years. And pretty much the Jedi, the Green Lady who's the Jedi Council, says, like, you know, one told one of her other, like, the lower Jedi, like, I need to talk with the Master now. Eventually leading to us seeing Yoda. So I was like, okay, cool. Yoda's gonna be in this. Yeah, Yoda's still alive. Yoda is alive during all this. They're in the High Republic. He was actually a little bit younger, obviously, 100 years younger. But I probably should have waited for a little bit later. I could have let that build up a little more. But in any case, sorry, I'm half speed, half not right now. But Yoda's call for Yoda thing, but also while that's going on, she goes to the council and explains her investigation, saying how all of this is because of a rogue Jedi that did all this. Soul and his compatriots, he's pretty much throwing Soul under the bus, saying Soul was the one that killed all these other Jedi. That Soul was the one that killed the Covenant Witches, which that's more or less true. And blaming everything on Soul, saying, you know, there's no dark side wielder and all this other stuff, trying to hide it all. And then she pretty much goes to May and says, you're going to help me find your sister. And then, like, you know, Osha and the Stranger are on that planet with all the Cortosis, looking off into the water, and pretty much ends there, if I'm remembering correctly. And she is now the Acolyte, which I really do like this show, too, because hopefully the games start following it in this sense also as well. This is one where the Sith or the Darkseid wielders are the main characters. Like, because that's the thing, like if there was any other Star Wars show, Yord, X-23, as well as, sorry, I don't remember her name, as well as Soul, would probably still be part of the main cast and be trying to hunt down Osha and all that stuff. But no, they're all dead. They're straight dead. But, but like I'm pretty sure now we're gonna see more exploration of things with Yoda being there. Obviously, is gonna be interesting, but also we're gonna see, you know, Osha is the main character pretty much. So we're gonna see, like, how is it gonna be with her being the Acolyte? How is that gonna tie into everything else later on? Does she die? Do her and because we know Palpatine, because if it follows everything that Darth Plagueis will eventually have Palpatine join and become his apprentice. So there's a good chance maybe Osha and the Stranger will break off and become the Knights of Ren. The first Knights of Ren, which is what explained by the helmet and, you know, his whole thing. You know, the song, Kylo Ren's song playing at one point when the Stranger first appears. There's a lot of cool things you could easily do there. We could explore more of the dyad and the Force, with May trying to relearn, probably because her mind was wiped, and to where she's a quote-unquote, like, mind-wise, like, she only remembers up to being 8 years old, so I don't know if she has the mind of a child or not, but maybe that's quote-unquote young enough to where she could relearn the Force, but through the light side of it. And then also, obviously, with her connection with her sister, you could have the dyad and the Force still, where the two are hunting each other, where May is trying to hunt down, or help trace down at least, May. Or Osha. Sorry, I'm getting all them mixed up. But, like, trying to sense it and go down, because we still know that they are connected. They're supposed to be, like, the same soul in two bodies, pretty much. Whether they be, like, they're just, like, a spiritual clone of their mother, or are they just one soul itself? What about the convergence? Else going on? We don't know. But, in either case, I like this show a lot. This show is really fun. The most annoying part about the show are all the people just trying to hate on it because it's Star Wars. Even though they say they're Star Wars fans, but whatever. They're idiots. Beginning of this video, I don't need to repeat myself. But, I liked it a lot. I'm excited to see what new Star Wars stuff is going to come next. And again, it's cool seeing stuff like Cortosis on screen, seeing, you know, the lightsaber bleeding. Because that's the thing, too, and that's how I always kind of take certain media, especially with stuff like Star Wars stuff. If it happens in a book or something along those lines, it's possibly canon, but also possibly not. Take that, if you like it or not, what you will. I don't really care. Like, well, I'm sorry. It sounds kind of mean towards people who actually like. What I mean in that sense of is like the sheriff in Boba Fett, and Mando, where like his story is slightly changed from what it was in the book that he first appeared in. But like, you know, it's like it doesn't change too much for the character, but like there's a slight difference of it. I'm okay with that. Like, long as it's only slight difference, like, but like if it's on screen, 90% of the time it's going to be fully canon. So yeah, we have fully shown a lightsaber being bled. We've fully seen cortosis on screen right now. Which, mind you, cortosis is something that I only kind of came into learning about like maybe 2 or 3 years ago after I saw like one of those like when you go to your phone and like you go to the Google thing and like has like different stuff like that. Like, and they brought up like, oh, Darth Vader, a new metal or a metal that just deactivates lightsabers, and like I've read like a little article about it. I sometimes learn about shit like that. And they bring up cortosis, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. I'm like, that's cool seeing that, but it's cool seeing it on screen, especially when like it just explodes lightsaber shit like that. It's freaking badass. I wonder if Osha will get a helmet next season. Because helmets also are really cool, and that's the thing too. Like the Stranger, yeah, it's cool seeing the guy. Yeah, the guy underneath, it looks badass. But the helmet is what's going to be forever remembered, and honestly, the helmet is what's going to be so much cooler. Like that's not saying against the guy himself, but like there's a reason why Darth Vader, or even like let's say Kylo Ren, like this, I think will last longer because the helmets are cool. The design of the helmets is cool, and that's what brings it forward through the future. Because kids are going to be like, "I want the cool looking badass." So yeah, I don't know, but in either case, I like this a lot. Tell me in the comments below. Did you guys like this season? Did I miss anything? Maybe I'll rewatch the last episode again just to get everything said and done. There's a lot of things going on today, sadly, but just in case like there is anything more that I missed. Emotions. But yeah, and like just to say again, like this dark side seems like the more. As long as you don't go fully into it, the dark side does seem like the better option than the light side. Because if you have to cut off what makes you human, what's the point of life? If you can't be yourself, if you can't be free, and you have to cut yourself off like that. At that point also, why even have Jedi? Why not just exterminate all the Sith, all dark side wielders, and then just kill off the Jedi and just replace them with a droid army to protect the galaxy. With no emotions, just they follow the law to the letter, that's it. Like, I don't know. In either case, I like this a lot. The dark side of the Force definitely seems like the better side of it, and so I'm kind of happy I had the red lightsaber. Even though I'm pretty sure the red lightsaber is a sign that you went too far one way, but still. But thanks for watching. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Hopefully I'll find my red crystal soon. I'm gonna pop that sucker back in here. I actually need to get one of those holocrons so I can put the crystal in to see who I actually got, voice-wise. But, because each crystal is technically connected to someone. So this might be Anakin's crystal, this might be, Obi-Wan's, who knows. But, yeah, probably Obi-Wan's, honestly, but I would like the Anakin's. But, thank you for watching the videos I've done. Links are on my face, subscriptions around there somewhere. Please check out my videos. Hopefully enjoy this. Hopefully y'all enjoy this. Actually, you know what? I would say this is cortosis, because of how, like, rusty colored it looks. So my lightsaber has cortosis on it. And then, what is it? Durasteel. This could be Beskar. Ooh, that'd be cool. Beskar tip. Then you have the cortosis guards. That way, then if someone tries to cut it, it just turns off, like I said. And then, like, anyways. Thanks for watching the videos. Hopefully enjoy this, and we will see you later.